Hello kids, Patrick Livingstone of EasyAnimalsToDraw.com, and today we're going to be drawing this animal. The Chihuahua. Isn't it a pretty dog? Well, here we go. The first 4 marks for the circle for the hips. Dotting it in lightly. And once I've done that, and I'm happy that it's a reasonable looking circle, doesn't have to be perfect, far from it, I can go back in and draw it in with a little more confidence. Notice the distance between the circles, and the circle for the shoulders is a little bit bigger. Again, the dotting technique indicating the position of the circle quite lightly, and then drawing it in with a little more confidence. Finally, the circle for the head. Notice how it just touches the circle for the shoulders. This drawing guide will make it so much easier when it comes to the actual drawing of the Chihuahua. The Chihuahua has quite big ears. You can tell by the size of these triangles that I'm using in the drawing guide. And a line across as a further reference on the face, the position of the eyes. Now here we have the crooked back leg, dog's crooked back leg, showing the knee and the ankle position. Front leg, little indication of the paw at the bottom, and the tail. Join up the circles for the hips and the shoulders and the neck of your Chihuahua. The other side of the neck and the belly. Obviously not happy with the position for the eyes and that ear. Feel free to correct your own drawing at any time if you think it's looking a little bit off. Much better to correct it at this stage than later. So now we're in a position to begin our drawing proper. Drawing the nearest eye on the line, the guideline that we've already put in. The pupil, and then the iris around it. Chihuahua's got quite big eyes, spaced quite far apart. And you'll notice that I've drawn the angle of the head tilted slightly. I think this gives the dog a little character, as if he's asking a question. Like, when am I going to get fed, or when am I going woggies? Two things that generally preoccupy dogs. fur on the inside of the ear. A lot of the dog's character is in the ears, I think. And the ratio of the ears to a Chihuahua is particularly large. The ratio of the ears to the rest of the Chihuahua's head. The back of the mouth. And now the nose. With that typical slit that goes up into the nostrils. You get used to this shape after you've drawn a few dogs. It's very typical. And now the muzzle. At this stage, I think our Chihuahua is looking a little bit like a piggy. But that will change. I think it's those ears, and that we can still see the drawing circle on the head. It makes the head look a little bit more round and pig-like than it will when we remove that circle. And now a little bit of an indication, you notice, of the fur. Not particularly short-haired, the Chihuahua. A lot of character in the forelegs, I think. You notice the stance. Looks quite assertive for a little dog. Quite a confident looking stance. Confident looking little dog. Don't forget those claws. Maybe that's why he's confident. Time to go on to the hind legs. And again, don't forget the claws. And the end of the toes. Now you see I've changed my mind about the position of the back leg there. So my first effort I'm going to rub out. This is, even professional artists make mistakes as they're drawing. Don't worry about it if you're doing the same. Just rub it out and carry on. The earlier in the drawing you catch your mistakes, the better. And the way to catch your mistakes is to constantly look at what you're drawing and try and judge the proportions. So drawing is a constant process of drawing and looking, looking and drawing. My favourite bit, removing the drawing guides. Now we'll see if he looks a little less pig-like when we take away that drawing circle in the head. Yeah, he's lost some of his pigginess. Got a quirky kind of look to him with the tilted head, which I think is quite good, quite nice. Restating the pieces of the drawing that were rubbed out. When we rubbed out the drawing guide, this always happens, don't worry about it, just go back in and restate those missing parts. Notice a little bit of a jagged feel towards the tail and the back of the dog, where the fur is a little bit more jagged. Now you can see, now that I'm going in to do the final drawing, final shading, you can see the little specks of light in the eyes, which give them life and show that they're shiny and reflective. It's a shiny and reflective surface, which contrasts with the matte kind of feeling of the fur, comparatively matte. I mean, dog's coat has a shine to it, of course, if it's in good health, but nothing like as shiny as the eyeball. These lines showing the pattern on the dog, the brown areas of its fur. Quite a bit of detail in the ear of the Chihuahua, as you can see now. It becomes more apparent with the shading. Remember to pause the video to draw at your own pace. This is artificially fast. This is twice the normal speed that I would draw. You can see the more detail going in, the more it's looking like a Chihuahua, and we're losing that original slightly piggy look. More and more like a dog. A dog's whiskers, no one really talks about a dog's whiskers, but they do have something similar to a cat, but just less obvious. Now the folds around the neck. It's not really folds in the way that a bulldog would have folds, but there's definitely a little bit of a folding there going on. Now a little undershading in the tail. Tail's got a great kind of curve to it, a great angle. A jaunty look. Now moving into the shoulders and the forelegs with the change of colour of the coat. And little by little the body's taking on volume and form. It's a good idea to have a photograph of a Chihuahua when you're doing the shading as a reference. It's much easier to draw when you have reference material than to try and remember what a Chihuahua looks like. That's extremely difficult to do, I think. Don't forget you can get a PDF file with drawing guides you can download to help you draw your Chihuahua over at easyanimalstodraw.com, and lots of other videos with other dogs and animals. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that bell to get notifications of more videos.